So the effects actually happened on episode 2. Now actually happened on this episode. But Yuito could not remember how he actually came into the streets because he was actually in his brother's office saying that he is the commander of the new squadron for New Himuka. But we actually knew that he actually is losing his memories. But Wataru actually doesn't see any anomalies into his brain, in which we knew that New Himuka is under siege. But we can actually tell after Chairman Tsunaragi's death at the hands of Kasame or someone else, we can tell that we actually knew what's going to happen next. But now we get to see what's going to happen when they're actually going to take Yuito to the hospital, where Hanabi's uncle is actually the chairman of the hospital, who actually going to take him to get examined from his brain. So we knew that we can see that they're going to do the patrols, but we can actually tell in the OSF the conspiracy is still going on, but we can actually tell that the new Chiron's platoon actually began with Kasame being the new commander. So it's now being divided, which we see how the others are actually talking about the new platoon, including the fact that everyone is being turned into others, just like Naomi. But we can tell that Kasame is trying to figure out a way to turn his sister back into human. But we see how Cardin actually can tell that she's still trying to save her sister. But she knew that she would accept the role as commander when he actually knew what's actually going on, because he's trying to get Kasame to join him in order to save Naomi. But he revealed that Naomi is in Seiran, but Arashi actually interrupts to actually tell them that they're actually getting ready to move out because they're actually headed towards the research facility. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, we actually see the doctor actually see that nothing is actually wrong with Yuito's brain. It's because he say that he's actually been exhausted, both body and mind. So he actually gonna give him a prescription that actually help him with his exhaustion. So we knew how Harubi actually knew that he's gonna be alright, but everyone else decided to relax after they finished their patrols. So while the prescription is actually being filled, we see Harubi actually give the tour of the hospital, but she actually helped a nurse who was a dud, which actually are people who actually cannot use the same powers as people with sonic abilities. As she actually helped the nurse, we actually see two scientists taking Nagi out of the hospital and into the elevator, which she tells them what happened, but we can actually see how Tsugumi, using her clairvoyance to actually found Nagi, who went inside of the van and actually headed out the hospital, which they actually knew that they actually headed towards the former OSF hospital, the same one that Yuito actually been to with his mother, who actually came under attack of the other. So we see how Kasame's team is actually there, where they actually went to the former OSF hospital on the middle of nowhere, and they realized that Nagi is not in the van anymore. So they must have taken him to the lab where they did an experiment on him. But on the way to find Nagi, they actually came across an other who actually has oil. So they battled the other as well, knowingly that Kasame realized that the Yuito in the future told him about the power of gravikinesis, which the phenomenon is now called Kunan Gate, as which we see how the gate is still opening only 5%. But we actually see how Yuito's team had defeated the other. Around the same time, we see Nagi actually escape the lab, and they actually found Nagi, but he is actually changed, like his personality. So we actually see what happens in Nagi, but we actually saw how his personality changed during the experiment. So we're going to see how they're going to confront Nagi and what Kasame's team is going to find in the hospital on the next episode next weekend. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the episode. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Gadron here saying signing out. Laters, and be safe.